I did a teaching tour to South America in 2016 with our Spanish trainer, David Villegas, and we went to Uruguay, Argentina, and Chile. Well, when we were in Uruguay, we had a free day, and our host, Santiago, took us to a local crag called Canteras. It was right in the middle of the town of Montevideo, to a climb that was one of their harder climbs there called Baño es el Hombre. And so David and I were both working out the sequence to see if we could climb this route. And it involved doing a really painful finger jam to make a dynamic move. And we both figured it out, but David did it quite quickly, and it took me a lot longer to be able to succeed. So we can learn in this way. We get into something that's stressful and we focus on figuring out the problem. We figure out the beta, the sequence, the falls, how to apply our energy. This is a typical way of learning. We know we're going to engage some stress, and we willingly engage it and seek the learning lessons that is in it. But there's another way that we can learn. We can learn from the comfortable outcomes that we create. So in this case, both David and I created a comfortable outcome of a success, of an achievement of this climb. And that can inform us a lot about how our identity or our ego can be impacted by that comfortable achievement. So what typically happens is when we succeed, we feel more important as people and as climbers. And when we fail, or it takes us longer to succeed, we can tend to feel unimportant or devalued as people. And so here I am, I'm supposed to be the master, here traveling with my trainer, David, and he's succeeding quicker than I am. So my ego could feel unimportant or diminished because of that, my sense of identity. And what can happen is we get this internal dialogue going on that originates from the ego, from this need to feel important, to help support our sense of identity. We can have a chatter around making excuses, excuses so that we don't have to face that feeling of being less important. So I could have a dialogue going on in my head based on that around, well, I'm older. I don't train as much as David does, and I still achieved the goal. So I can have that kind of dialogue around making excuses for my older state and lack of training. But I can also create dialogue around wallowing in the success. So I can say practically the same things, like, well, I'm older and don't train as much as David, and look, I succeeded and persisted. It must have been a lot easier for David than me, and look here, I still succeeded. Kind of wallowing in that success, trying to feel special and important, trying to maintain that. So the facts of this dialogue are true. It's not that, what the ego is telling us, this kind of dialogue going on, is not accurate or true. I am older, I don't train as much as David, and we both succeeded. That's not the point. The point is that this internal chatter is coming from the needs of the ego instead of focusing on learning and just enjoying the whole climbing process. If we equate our importance with the outcomes that we're creating, it's a losing proposition. Okay? If we succeed, then our ego identity is going to need continual achievement to prop up its sense of importance. And that just creates a sense of anxiety. If we fail, then our ego can make this distract our attention because it doesn't want to take responsibility for that failure. wants to diminish its sense of losing that feeling of importance. So, should I be able to do a climb just because David did? It's the wrong question. It's a distraction of attention that creates anxiety. It distracts us from just focusing on learning and enjoying the climbing process. So, for a practice tip, become more tuned to the outcomes you create. How do you feel when you succeed? Do you feel more important as a person or as a climber? How do you feel when you fail? Do you make excuses? Do you feel diminished as a person or a climber? Tune into learning from these comfortable achievements that you have. Well, I guess failure would be an uncomfortable achievement, but pay attention to the outcomes you're creating, where the stress of the effort is over, so you can find out more about how you're creating your ego identity. And then from that awareness, you can do something about it. You can find a way to focus on learning and just enjoying the whole climbing process more. I think you'll enjoy it more. So you can go to warriorsway.com to get the full text and audio for this lesson. You can also check out our books and our courses, and reach out to us for your mental training needs. We love to work with you with how the Warriors Way approaches mental training. Thank you.